My name is Kathy Busick. I own the Temperance House. I've been an owner of the Temperance House for approximately, well, I guess it was a little over 5.5 years now. A lot of people ask me how, the Temperance House got its name. Back in the day, the Quakers made the Pennsylvania laws, and they also issued the liquor license. Instead of giving more licensings out, they wound up actually making an amendment to the process, and they basically said, if you are an alcoholic if you're an establishment selling alcohol, you can call yourself a temperance without having a license. And this actually was a schoolhouse initially during the day, and at night it was a bourbon bar. People would come through here, travel. They would actually stay here because upstairs there were rooms and stuff, and they would barter and trade for the the lodging, and then they would have a drink at night. So here there's actually a lot of history and stuff like that. Actually, where we're sitting right now is where George Washington held his meetings with his generals before he crossed the Delaware for the Battle of Trenton. There's also behind us is the original hearth where they would do their winter kitchen and cook. And when it got too hot in the basement, it's the same exact setup, and they would cook down there for their summer kitchen. There's also a little cabinet to the right. It's a cabinet now, but it used to actually be the dumbwaiter to move the food up and down. That was actually significant for the Underground Railroad because that's actually how they would sneak the food down to them. Going back to, like I said, the tavern, that's 1950. That actually used to be a street running in between the two buildings, separating, as you might say, the two different worlds. Because where we sit right here also has the Underground Railroad under it, where the other side of the building used to house slaves. So that street, which we would probably call an alleyway today, but that street actually separates the two different worlds of freeing slaves and housing them. Along the wall here is an original Edward Hicks, said to have been painted 1809. Edward Hicks actually, his house is about a block and a half away, but I had learned that he treated our hotel side as his muse, and he would paint and draw and do a lot of his paintings and drawings there. And he actually chose to pass away in our one of our rooms also. There's a lot of really great fun things that happen, as you might say, that aren't explained. Little pranks that basically will happen. So the haunted porter will have the giggling. There's another room that they knock on the door, and then eventually they knock inside the room. I used to have phones in the rooms. I have since taken them out because of the fact that most people have cell phones anyway, but people would complain that the phone would just ring, and when they pick it up, there was nobody on the other line. To a person just coming in, most of the time they don't realize how precious this place is, and especially with all the history. But you have taken the time to learn a lot of it, and I'm sure there's still much more that we can still learn.